So draw a model, then write the numerical expressions. Who remembers the difference between an expression and an equation?
The equation has an answer.
And an equal sign, okay? The expression doesn't even have the equal sign, all right? So the expression does not need to be solved. Does everyone understand that? Okay, so we have the sum of 8 and 7 doubled. So look at this little trick that Dwayne showed. It's a little different than I had done because I started with multiplication. So what are the words in this?
Sum and doubled.
Sum and doubled. What does sum tell me I'm going to do?
Add.
What about doubled?
Double.
Times 2. Very good. Okay, so we'll do this. Sum of 8 and 7. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
And then just double it. And that makes it a little bit easier to think about. Okay, now how do I write that as an expression though? Go ahead, Grant.
8 plus 7 times 2.
And do I need any parentheses?
Yes.
Yes, I do. And if you're in my math group, you would know why I need parentheses. Because our rule that we learned yesterday was you're supposed to multiply before you add. So parentheses has me do that part first. And so let's go on to B. Okay? It says 4 times the sum of 14 and 26. So let's follow the same strategy. What's sum tell me to do?
Add.
What's times tell me to do?
Multiply.
Okay. So what will I do first?
14
plus
26. 14 plus 26. And then how many times?
4.
4. So you just do the best you can at making them about the same size. No one's going to be coming along and saying, oh, those aren't exactly the same. Okay. All right, so how would I do this one? And I want to keep it in order of what the words say, Mason. So what do I start with?
4 times.
4 times. And then what do I write?
Plus 26. 14.
14 plus 26. Okay, so yesterday I said this kind of sounds like it's in a different language or something. And today it makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at 3 times the difference between, oh, we've got decimals. Can you do this?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at it. So 3 times the difference. First of all, what am I going to circle?
Difference.
Dan, someone already told me difference tells me I will
Subtract.
Okay. So 3 times the difference. Should we start with the difference?
Yes.
Okay. So on this one, we have 37 and 5/10 minus 24 and 5/10. Now you have to be very careful on the decimals because, on the subtraction, because you've got to make sure the largest whole number is first. So I double checked that while I was writing it, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many times?
Right.
Okay, and what are we starting with in the expression?
3.
3. 3 times
37
and 5/10 minus 24 and 5/10.
Very good. Okay, D is pretty interesting. It says the sum of 3 16s and 2 9s. Now, do you remember yesterday when we had a number and then a number word right next to each other? What did we do? We multiplied. So it was almost like it was 3 groups of 16 and 2 groups of 9. Okay, so what will I draw here? A long tape diagram probably, right? Okay. And then yesterday we sort of started with the small ones on the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
So what would I start with on the end? 2 9s. And now what do I need to divide the rest of it into?
16. No, 3.
3 groups of 16. Very good. Now writing this one is kind of the tricky part. What words should I circle? Okay, I'm going to put the plus sign right in the middle. Because I've got 2 parts to this, don't I? I have this part and then the 2 9s.
You have to figure out what 16 plus 16 plus 16.
No, we don't have to solve it.
3 times.
I know that's what you want to do, but what do you see here?
16.
I see 3 groups of 16.
And then 9. 2 groups of 9.
2 groups of 9. They're going to laugh on that video because I messed up what I said. Okay, now how are you doing?
Good.
You okay?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at the next one. Now we're going to draw 2 tape diagrams on this one because I want you to see what it looks like, okay? So it says the difference between, what's that tell me we're going to do? Subtract, and then you already see the multiplication? 4 25s, so 4 groups of 25, and 3 groups of 25. Now if you'll put those little multiplication signs in there, you'll get used to multiplying when you see something like that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a model of the largest one because when we subtract, we like to start with the largest one. So the largest one is what? 4 25s. And then I'm going to make a model of the smallest one. And what was it? And if I wanted to find the answer, Mason, it would be really easy because I would know that my answer was going to be what? Watch where I'm pointing here. That's my difference. So what's my answer? You know, it's like on the apple graph. How many more? 25 more. So the difference between the 2 is what? 25. Now we don't have to find the answer. We just have to write the expression. So I know I've got 2 different parts to this problem. And I know I'm subtracting. What goes in the first one?
4 times 25.
4 times 25.
And then 3 times 25.
And then 3 times 25. Okay? I like the next one. It's fun. It says triple the sum of 33 and 27. So sum, and then what's triple mean?
3 times 3.
Times 3. Very good. Okay, so start with the sum. What do I write underneath it?
33 plus 27.
Good. And how many times do I need this here?
3.
3 times. I'm going to start with what it says. What's the first word?
Triple.
So what do I start with? 3 times.
3 times 3. 3 plus 27.
Do you feel really smart?
Yes.
I know. Okay, let's see what the back of this has in store for us. Looks like we get to do some solving, finally. The value of the expression right here means to solve it. So that will be fun, won't it? Write the numerical expressions in words. Oh no. And then solve it. Now, in words, can we go back to the front and copy down what we did?
Yes.
What they wrote? Yeah, we can. So this one, what 2 operations do I have? So give me a word for the first one. Times. Give me a word for the second. Sum. Okay, so the wording has to be blank times the sum. 12, and we've got to write it. I need to be able to read it. 12 times the sum of what?
5
and 25. Okay, so what should we do first? Add 5 and 25, so it's going to be 12 times what number?
25.
30. 12 times 30. Now stop for a minute. We can do 12 times 3. 36. Add a 0. What's your answer? Yeah, I still feel smart, don't you? You don't have to rewrite the expression. You can just start working it. Do you need to borrow a pencil?
No.
You got it? Okay. All right, let's take a look at the next one. It's, what two operations do you see?
Times and difference.
Okay, which one's first?
Difference.
Difference. I'm just going to put diff and times. Okay. So, how am I going to do this? It's going to have to start with the difference.
60.
Nope.
Oh,
It's going to have to start with the difference.
the difference of 62
Keep going.
times 12.
The difference between 62 and 12 times 11. Okay. Write it down. Make sure you say between. How about a little bigger? Would that help? These are quite simple. Okay, what's the first step, table 1, in solving this problem? Subtract. You're not table 1 now. Subtract. Why are we subtracting first? Table 2. Why are we subtracting first? Table 2. Why are we subtracting first?
Because
Not because it's first in the problem. Why are we subtracting first, Giovanni? It has the parentheses, so we're going to do that part first. So 62 minus 12, can you do that in your head? I hope so. What is it? 50 times 11. Think you can handle that problem?
Yes.
So we're going to do 5 times 11. What is it?
55.
And add how many zeros?
550.
I really feel smart. Do you? Are you with me or are you still confused like yesterday? You're with me. Okay. So take a look at the next one. What two words do we have? Sum and times. Okay? You see if you can figure out what to write on your own. It's going to start with the sum. Just write it. Okay, what'd you write, DNA?
The sum of 45 and 55 times 23.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, now if you didn't know what to write, you could turn it over and try and find the sentence that starts with the sum of, couldn't you? And then work from there. I saw somebody doing that. That was pretty smart. Okay, so what do I do first when solving this?
Add
Add.
45.
So what's 45 plus 55?
100.
100. They're making this quite simple. 100 times what number?
23.
23.
1 times 23 is 20.
So 23,
3 zeros.
what?
23 plus 3 zeros equals
23 hundreds or 2,300. Okay, this one's a little trickier, but we can do it. I think it's like number 4. Well, I don't know if that's a 4 on the other side. So what do you think here? What words do you see? I see some. Now I remember that we're not going to write the word times on this kind of problem. Do you remember what we do instead? Go over and look, go look at the other side, and I think it's D. See how this one just has a plus sign? Read this. The sum of 3 16s and 2 9s. Okay, let's see if we can apply that to this one. The sum of 32s and 8 2s. The word twos needs to be written in words. Now there's a couple ways to solve this one. Do you remember that we could add the 30 plus the 8?
Yeah.
And take it times 2?
Yeah.
Or we could do 30 times 2 plus 8 times 2. I think this way would be easier because I'm going to end up with a 0 on one of these and it'll be easier to add. So what's 30 times 2?
60.
And what is 8 times 2?
60.
So the answer here is 76. All right, we're almost finished and then you'll have time to do your exit ticket, it looks like. Okay, so let's see. These right here, let's see if we have to solve them. Oh, my goodness, look at those directions. Let me read them. Maybe. Compare the two expressions using greater than, less than, or equal to. In the space between each pair of expressions, explain how you can compare without calculating. Uh-oh, compare without calculating. Draw a model if it helps you.
We can do this next on that.
Well, it looks to me like we're going to have to. So let's take a look at it. This one says 24 times the sum of 20 plus 5. This one says the sum of 20 plus 5 times 12. Which one's larger?
24 times 20 plus
Okay, how do you know?
because this is 24.
Okay. When you multiply by 24, the product will be larger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's good enough. I could say 12 is less than 24. But it's almost like if these two parts are the same, they can kind of cancel each other out. So then you just look at what are the numbers that are left? A 24 and a 12. Does that make sense? Okay, let's keep going here. So the next two, take a look at those. Now I would probably, I'm probably going to say 1827s here. Don't you think?
Yes.
1827s. I'm just going to write that down to help myself. Okay, because the other one's in unit form. And this one says 20 27s minus 1 27. So 20 minus 1, what do I have here? 19 27s. So which one's larger? 19. Okay, how can I answer that? 19 is larger than 18?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to write all the way across here so I have enough room. That's not 7 words. That's not 7 words. 19 is larger than 18. 27s? Now how many words do I have?
7.
Oh, thank goodness. Who made that rule anyway?
Yep.
I know. Okay. Oh, this one's tricky. Oh, this was, I think we better draw a diagram here. Okay. So, and I'm going to do 9 groups of 19. Okay? Because I don't want to draw 19 boxes, do I? I'm going to go ahead and draw 9 of them. And what will be in each box?
19.
19. And I can barely fit it. So each box is 19. Okay? Now I'm going to draw on the next one. Mason, what will I draw on the next one? Are you having pencil problems?
Yeah.
You want to just use your regular pencil? We're almost finished. Okay. What will I draw on 3 19s triple? Well, what's this tell me I'm going to do?
Times it by 3.
Okay, multiply by 3. So what should I start with drawing?
Tape down
How many boxes in the first one?
3 and then put 19 in there.
Put 19 in each. Okay, and now if I triple that, so this is 3 19s, right? If I triple it, what's it going to look like?
3 more.
How many more?
3 more.
2 more, I think. Right? So there's 1. Because I have a total of 3, right? I know, you wish you were me, don't you?
Yep.
So how many 19s do I have there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 9 19s.
And how many 19s did I have here?
9.
What's the answer?
Equal.
Okay, so one thing you could do, one thing you could do if you didn't feel like drawing all this, could you do 3 times 3
Yes.
and then times 19?
Yes.
You could do that. Okay, how do I answer this?
3 times.
Both sides equal because, why?
Oh, because they're both
Because they're both 9 groups of
9.
19, okay? Okay. So let's take a look at the exit ticket. I think you'll be fine on it. Okay, maybe you can go back and finish writing that later, because I want to go ahead and move on so I'm not wasting any time on the video. So we have the exit ticket here. And I just put a portion of it on the page. Okay, it says the difference between 847s and 747s. This one, you would probably draw 2 tape diagrams. And that is like, which one on the very front? That is like E on the very front. So there's your little note. Okay. The next one says 6 times. Oh, what should I circle here?
Different
Okay. And what goes between a number and a word?
times.
Okay. What should I circle on B?
Times and sum.
Times and sum, and I don't think you need any help with that one at all, do you? Okay, that will be like which one on the front? Times and sum. One of the first two. Oh, B, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to draw how many tape diagrams on this one?
12.
1. Because it says draw a model. Okay, on the bottom it says compare, and it doesn't say to explain. And some of you are probably already have the answer on this because you remembered that some things can cancel each other out if they're exactly the same. Okay.